Every day I get a lot of questions about how I create my Instagram images. Here are some of the examples. How to edit images for Instagram. What editing apps do I use? Which camera app do I use? What filters or LUTs do I use? Do I have my own LUTs? So today I'll be answering some of these questions. Personally, I like to use the default camera app that comes with every phone. Over the years I have switched between 2-3 smartphones, but I've always sticked to the default camera app. Some of my favorite apps are Snapseed, Lightroom, Pixlr and Polar, but I find myself sticking to Snapseed or Lightroom most of the time. I also do not use any LUTs or lookup tables, nor do I have my own LUTs. When it comes to editing, every image has its own need for edit. And therefore, how we edit one image is entirely different from the other. But still, let me take you through a quick rundown of how I edit my Instagram images. Okay, so what I will do is I'll show you how I edit my pictures using two of my favorite apps, which is Snapseed and Lightroom. But the techniques that I teach you can be used in any editing apps or softwares for that matter. So here I have imported one of my recent images into Lightroom. One of the first things I would like to do is go to the Lights tab and correct the exposure and contrast of the image. I would like a little more contrast. I like the sky bright, but I don't want any details to be blown out, so I'll bring down the whites to preserve the details from the sky. That's the before and the after. Now let's go to the color tab and take Mix, which has the HSL slider. For this image, I would like to change the blue color of the sky. That's a bit too much. Around 25 looks good for me. But I'll also reduce the luminance of the sky so that I can preserve more details in the rich blue colors of the sky. I don't think there is so much green in the image. I can keep the saturations down. I think I like the colors now. Now I'll go to curves to increase the contrast of the image. As you may already know, the top side of the curve controls the highlights in the image, and the bottom side controls the shadows in the image. I increase the contrast by increasing the brightness of the highlights and reducing the brightness of the shadows. This is called an S-curve because of its shape. I like it there. I'm going to export this image and bring it into Snapseed. Here I have the edited image opened in Snapseed. I brought it here because I like the perspective tool in Snapseed. I want to change the perspective of this image a little bit and if possible get rid of the yellow building on the left side of the image. Now that makes the image more straight and also gets rid of the yellow building. Let's try some filters. I like B4. I like L5. L5 is one of my favorites. Let's go for B4. However, this is too strong. But I like to keep the grains in the image. So I'm keeping the grains around 30 and bringing down the style. Let's keep it at 50. And you all know how I crop my images for Instagram. I take a 3:2 crop and expand whites then crop it back to a square. But for this particular image, I like to keep it without the crop. Now that's the completed image. This is before and this is after.